pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been victim of identity fraud. With LifeLock, your identity, if it's stolen, they fix it guaranteed or your money back. And last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Could be from your salary, overtime, or second job. Gone. But this year, you don't need to stay a victim. Because this tax season, fraud-paying American is something no American should have to claim. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms do apply.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Stay tuned for a special message from Angel Dad Joe Abraham about his daughter Katie.
Put yourself in my shoes. I just spent my first Christmas without Katie. My daughter was murdered by an illegal immigrant Governor Pritzker protected. Imagine her final breaths, knowing that you would have given your life for hers, but you didn't have the chance. Put your child in Katie's shoes. Think of the unfulfilled dreams, the unrealized joys, and the permanent loss. I'm not a political guy, but when politicians unleash violent criminals, we all need to get involved. We can do better, and we must do better. Ted Dabrowski would have protected Katie, and he'll protect your children the way I wish someone had protected mine.
I'm Ted Dabrowski, and I approve this message.
Are you confident your IT systems are rock solid? There could be cracks you don't see. Don't leave your technology to chance. Take the Access One $10,000 challenge to find out. For more than 30 years, Access One has helped businesses strengthen their security, protect their data, and improve resistance to cyber vulnerabilities, all with reliable U.S.-based support. And here's our promise. If our experts can't identify at least one measurable improvement to your IT systems and processes based on NIST or CIS regulations, we'll reward your compliance excellence with $10,000. This free, confidential risk assessment is available to businesses with 25 to 500 employees, and it's a great way to verify your IT is secure and efficient. No gimmicks, just proven results from an experienced IT partner. Ready to put us to the test? Visit accessoneInc.com/challenge or call 800-654-1555 to schedule your assessment today. Certain conditions apply. See details online.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Good morning, Amy Jacobson here, Jeanne Ives. Welcome to The Real Story. Yay. How you doing, partner?
I'm doing great, yeah.
We have a lot of news to get to, including, in case you missed it, about an hour ago, Tom Homan, who's in Minneapolis, made this announcement.
And as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel.
Is ICE doing its job, or did the Trump administration cave? Who wins in this? 312-642-5600. I know my immediate reaction was those pea hat wearing men and those whistle blowing Minneapolis mommies are probably celebrating today.
Oh, okay, they can celebrate, but 2,000 officers remain. Well, so come on. I mean, great. You don't need 3,000. You draw down 700, 2,000 officers remain. That's also part of his statement.
But if these liberal lefty crazies behave, they might have a reduction in force.
The less rhetoric and hate we see and the less attacks means we can draw down even more quicker.
312-642-5600.
Oh, carrot and the stick approach. Yeah. That's what they're doing here.
That's our text. You can text us or call us on that line anytime. We are here to talk to you, that's for sure. But they have taken a lot of bad people off the streets. According to DHS, since this surge began, 3,000 arrests have been made, and they claim 10,000 undocumented individuals have been arrested across the state over the past year. And Tom Homan, he touted those accomplishments.
We're taking a lot of bad people off the street.
everybody should be grateful for that.
Yeah, well, you know what? The activists are just going to have to obviously continuing ginning up the hate. They're not going away, by the way. They continue to do the blockades. And then, I mean, Colin Rugg, God bless him, on his Twitter.
This is great.
Oh, presumably two women in Subarus followed a black Ford Expedition in circles around a roundabout in Minneapolis, thinking that that was an ICE vehicle. The SUV made 4 circles around the roundabout before the video cut out. But literally, you have 2 Subarus following a black SUV. They don't know that it's ICE in there. And the people apparently were trolling them. They're like, okay, let's see what they do here. They literally drove to a roundabout, and these 2 women in Subarus followed them around. I mean, how do you define a liberal? I mean, they're driving
don't these people have jobs or like,
that's what I don't understand.
I keep seeing these crazy whistleblowing mommies with their rape whistles going nutso, berserko, and I keep thinking, don't they have to go to the grocery store or pick up their kids? Is this what they do? Then I thought maybe they're getting paid.
That could be, but I mean, how about the folks that are taking over Targets, sitting in them and obstructing them? I see that in my local Target. I'm filming them. I'm asking them questions. Are you on public aid? Do you have a job?
Well, speaking of targeting Targets, one Target. So this is why they're going into Targets. I thought it was because it's really cold outside, so they want to protest somewhere where they can. Not a public. It is a public store, but they have the right as business owners to kick you out of their business.
Of course.
So the reason why they targeted Target, the real reason, is because at one point in time at a suburban Target, I think it was Eden Prairie or whatever, Edina, they went in and took 2 illegals who had committed crimes out of the store. And they're also protesting the fact that ICE agents and Border Patrol agents are using the bathroom in Targets. And God help us, they're buying food.
No.
And they're going to the Starbucks,
No.
Jeannie. It's crazy.
No.
And so one Target store finally said, you know what? Enough's enough. Because what they were doing, they were buying salt and then got in a long salt brigade line and returning the salt just to mess with them, just to be trolls, and to take the carts away from real customers who wanted to shop at Target. So here's one protester who learned the hard way when they finally, thank you, Target, kicked them out.
We are one.
Happening,
We've been told as we've been coming to Target stores chatting with managers that this is open to the public, so that they actually can't take people out of the store because it's open to the public. So we really wanted to come today and use it as public space. That's what they told us it was. But when we came in and tried to sit down and hang out and use it as public space, as they told us that wasn't allowed. They said we have to be shopping. Well, first they told us we have to be standing. So we stood, and then they told us we have to be shopping. And so we said, doesn't seem like ICE comes in here and shops. Do you kick them out when they're not shopping at Target? Oh, how interesting. But it does seem like they want to kick community out of Target.
Oh, how dare they.
So that's what we're here to do today, to call out that hypocrisy that Target actually can kick people out of their store, and they should be kicking ICE out of their store every day.
Thank you. Boy, these are the people who have never worked in the private sector ever. Their check has never depended on their businesses being successful, making an income so that they can pay them and expand. And I tell you what, God bless Target. And after all the LGBTQ pushback that they received for the last few years, and then they finally toned that down completely. I mean, this makes me want to go shop at Target. And guess what? I'm going to start shopping at Target again. Now, if only Bud Light could get a bunch of ICE agents drinking Bud Light, maybe that will redeem their sort of image as well, because people don't like this. You're attacking a private business.
Budweiser's redemption is coming Sunday,
Is
girlfriend. Have you seen the commercial?
I did see the commercial.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, it's so nice.
None of you have
So
seen
great.
the commercial, go to I retweeted
did?
it or
Okay.
re-X'd it. My Twitter's at Amy Jacobson. Yours is Jeannie Ives.
Yep.
I cried.
Yeah.
When I saw that commercial. It's a little Clydesdale. Well, should we give it away? It's a little baby Clydesdale, and he grows up with this bird, and you don't know what the kind of bird it is. And then later on you find out it's an American bald eagle.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, but let's go back to Minneapolis. So you have these people, and I know that we joked around about these civilian blockades.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very advanced system. So they all have these tablets, and they have license plates inputted on the tablets. You have different social warriors at different intersections in Minnesota and South St. Paul. And this happened. There is a black Somalian Uber driver who they stopped, and you just have to hear the entire interaction.
Doing good, yeah. I was just saying, it looks like in our system, your plates came up as an ICE plate. That doesn't seem like it's the case, but I just wanted to come through and see what was up and talk to you, see how you were doing. Okay, I figured, yeah.
I mean, he's clearly Somalian.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They're deciding he's clearly Somalian.
Oh, yeah. Well, glad to hear it. What's your name?
Don't tell me your name.
Ali, nice.
How long have you guys been out here today?
This is the reporter.
Are we good, though?
Yeah, we're good.
I do want to ask, what's the system you guys are using out here? I mean, because it's obvious that was wrong, right? I mean, the guy was just a Somalian Uber driver, not
Well,
ICE.
the thing is, ICE, they're renting a lot of cars. But, yeah, we'll take this off the list. Yeah. Who y'all with?
We're honestly just from California. Just independent photojournalists. Name's,
Okay, do y'all have, like, a Twitter or something?
Jorge Ventura.
Jorge Ventura?
Yeah, Jorge Ventura.
All right, cool. Thank you.
How long has this been set up, man? Like, the images of this are going viral online. That's what we came. I don't know if you know if they're going viral. But.
Yeah, no, I heard that. People are people saying that, and
this
a
guy's
lot of the neighbors
15
support what we're
seconds
doing.
of fame.
So happy to be here.
I mean, he's and the residents but the problem was, Jeannie, that they were able to do this for 4 days straight.
Well,
set up these blockades, these civilian blockades, and even though Minneapolis police did come in yesterday with a front loader and cleared out a big one, because guess what? It's a hazard to have that. If you need a fire truck to go down the street, if you need an ambulance because you're in need, you couldn't get through. And this happened yesterday. I just want you to hear this. You might have to turn up your radio a little bit. But this is the first interaction they had between Minneapolis police, and this dude was about 6'9", Minneapolis police officer. He looked intimidating to me, and he approached these crazy liberals, the whistleblowing Minneapolis mamas, and they were arguing with him. They didn't budge.
You guys talking to me, so you guys, what can we do to hurry this up? Because we have fire trucks and ambulances that might need to get through here.
They can come
and
through here.
You're talking about the community, and we're talking about making sure that your neighbors can get access to emergency services.
City buses have been easily passing, so I suspect.
And we're all here. When they come, we'll move it for them, Frankly, you're the one blocking it right now.
Frankly,
you're the one blocking it right now. They're talking back to law enforcement.
Mouthy little,
I mean, I would have arrested them right then if I.
Well, he didn't. But finally, they did come in, and guess what they said?
What?
Well, we're not leaving. I mean, you could take this down, but we're still going to stay here on the corner with our little tablets, being little snitches. And you know what, Jeannie, snitches end up in ditches. All right, 312-642-5600. Let's go to Barb, who joins us from Palos Heights. Good morning, Barb. How are you?
I'm doing good here. Didn't Tom Homan get access to the Minneapolis jails where where he gets cooperation from the police now in turn of reducing the amount of ICE officials there?
Yeah, well, he has access to state prisons, and that's one of the reasons why they're standing down, because they're going to cooperate with ICE on this transfer of custody. And he said they're not requiring, sorry, words are hard today, requiring jails to hold criminals past their normal hold time.
He said the more cooperation we get, the less rhetoric and hate we see, and the less attacks means we can draw down even more quicker. So it does appear to me that they did get some sort of cooperation with the mayor and Walls.
So do you feel like this is a win for the Trump administration or a win for the
definitely.
protesters?
Yeah, it is at this point here. I mean, these people are nuts to begin with, and you talk about brainwashing, in my humble opinion. But I believe, access to the jails will stop a lot of the violence.
Right. They should have cooperated in the first place.
It could be certainly. From the other news here, you don't have these numbers in Texas or other areas where they're in Florida where they're picking up illegals. You don't have all this garbage going on. It's just blue cities, obviously. Yeah. So anyway, I wish them well.
Well, if they turn down the temperature, what does that do to Brandon Johnson's executive order? He's just absolutely eager to go ahead and arrest some ICE officers and have CPD arrest ICE officers. Oh, boy, would I like to see that happen.
And Kathleen O'Neill Burke, I think I said her name right. Just Burke, County State's Attorney O'Malley, Flanagan,
whatever
O'Connor. They're reviewing his executive order.
Yeah.
What is she? It's illegal. And then the Chicago cops that I know said, hell no, I would never go out and arrest an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent.
But at the end of the day, Amy, Democrats cover for Democrats, and that's what she's doing. She's doing her job as a member of the Democrat Party who's in leadership. And, there's honestly, I'm telling you right now, in the state of Illinois, there's no elected Democrat that will not cover for another elected Democrat, with maybe the exception of Ray Lopez. Maybe. He'll speak truth. I don't know a single one sitting in the legislature that will ever take on Pritzker. Ever. They will never disagree with him.
Because that would be political suicide?
Yeah, he's got the big checkbook.
All right. Coming up on The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson, the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother has taken a bizarre turn. We'll tell you the latest inside information and get you the real story. And also, the family's offering a $2,500 reward. I offered a $1,000 reward for my cat.
Of course you did.
But she's a millionaire.
Of course
we'll
you
get
did.
into that.
Your
and of course,
cat?
she's pulling out of the Olympics too. But why not? I mean, her dear mother is missing. All that and more straight ahead.
Subscribe to the Real Story podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
Ad paid for by Anthem Tax Services. Attention. If you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-978-5309 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free, and the help is real. Call 800-978-5309. That's 800-978-5309. Again, 800-978-5309.
Rick Borick talks about the emotions of stock market investing.
At what point would you rethink your decision that you're invested in the stock market? And you'll notice that someone who answered that question 6 months ago saying, I'm not going to panic until it's down 30%, calls you up on the phone and says, it's down 8%, what's going on? And I says, what happened to the 30% guy, right?
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
If you'd like a smartphone that's really smart, download the OnePlace.com app, the app that will inspire your faith daily and provide answers to the biggest questions of all. OnePlace lets you download your favorite pastor's programs and listen even offline or in airplane mode with easy connections to your Bluetooth speaker or dashboard. To download your free OnePlace app, visit the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store for your Android device and search for OnePlace. That's OnePlace.
Crime is already skyrocketing in 2026. Now, you may already own a firearm, but before you face the financial, the legal, the emotional weight of pulling that trigger, there is new technology, a smarter option. It's non-lethal, BYRNA.com. Berta makes less lethal launchers. It fires tear gas, pepper spray, kinetic rounds. It is designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes. That gives you time to escape. That gives you time to get help without deadly consequences. Now remember, it fires at 400 feet per second, and it has serious stopping power, enough to shut down a threat very fast without the legal, moral complexity of using lethal force. And every single launcher hand-assembled in beautiful Fort Wayne, Indiana. Legal in all 50 states, no background check, and they'll ship it straight to your door. Just go to BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's BYRNA.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm obsessed with this story. This is Savannah Guthrie's mom.
Well, you know Savannah.
Abducted.
She was your intern, correct?
Yeah.
You should be obsessed.
We worked together in Tucson, and Lovely family. And I got to tell you, by all accounts, her mother is a good, strong Christian woman. Saturday night, she Ubered to I'm talking about Nancy Guthrie. Saturday night, she Ubered to the restaurant where her daughter and son-in-law were. And then they drove her back home afterward. And then Sunday morning, she didn't show up for church. So then the family called Savannah's sister. So Savannah's the youngest of three. She has one sister, an older sister, and an older brother. And they were very poor growing up. Her dad had a heart attack when she was 16. And she went to University of Arizona, but she had to live at home because the dorms were too expensive for her and her sister. So they didn't have money before. And she worked hard for everything she had, but they also always appreciated God. And when the church, she didn't show up for church, I think that's great that the parishioners there alerted the family right away. Then they waited a few hours, and then they called 911. So we do know from the Los Angeles Times that there was a spat of blood found outside of the house. They initially had reported that there were signs of forced entry, but they've taken that back. But she's been missing for 4 days now, and she is mentally with it, but physically she walks with a cane, and she needs life-saving medication. So here's what happened yesterday, to the surprise of many. There was a ransom letter sent to TMZ, and this is how that went down.
So we got something in our email that looks like a ransom. It's written like a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Specific requests
and they're very
for certain amounts of money,
very specific.
Bitcoin.
And also they say at the bottom there are certain things they're saying about what she was wearing and damage to the house.
That they're clearly saying to verify that
it's us.
We know what we're talking about here.
So we've contacted the sheriff's department, and we want to get them this letter. We had a little trouble getting through to the right person, but the person we spoke with is now forwarding this to somebody in the detective bureau. So
we don't know, and I haven't heard much
Right.
more. I just do know that they wrote down what she was wearing, and they wanted $1 million in crypto. And that's what a lot of people do that shake down corporations when they infiltrate their computer system. Russian hackers, they'll demand crypto.
Right.
Mexican cartel drug lords, they'll demand crypto. And they do live close to the border. So with more on this and some breaking news, let's welcome back to the program, or first time on this show, I should say, The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson. Paul Hubel, private investigator since 1981, licensed in Arizona and California. But before that, 12 years as a Cook County police officer and a Chicago police officer. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing good, Amy. I'm glad to see you back on WIND.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So the news, Asha Banfield reported that overnight, and this is what she's reporting, that they took the son-in-law's car, they impounded it to investigate it. Is there any truth to that?
Well, so far I've not been able to get any verification from the official sources, but that seems to be circulating, and it makes sense. I believe from the beginning that this is a case of a inside killer, that is someone inside the circle of Nancy Guthrie. That could be a family member, that could also be hired help, or anybody that may have any kind of dispute. I really don't believe that this is a kidnapping for ransom at all.
Well, do you feel like she's still alive at this point? And what do you make of that ransom note sent to TMZ?
Well, I'll start with being alive or not. There's a couple of things that we need to know. Law enforcement has to maintain, at least publicly, the position that she may still be alive. I'm going to say plainly that that's highly unlikely. The worst has already happened. She had a pacemaker, and apparently it stopped syncing with her Apple Watch, which could happen for different reasons, but death is a very likely explanation. And with respect to the ransom note, kidnappings for ransom are incredibly rare. There's lots of kidnappings, but they don't involve ransom. Occasionally they pop up, like in John Benet Ramsey or other situations, the Lindbergh kidnapping and J. Paul Getty. But the fact of the matter is that I believe that this is probably the work of people not involved in the crime that want to get some money. or it could very well be instigated by the killer himself to throw off the motive for the crime and maybe take the heat off himself.
So at the end of the day, what do you think happened here?
Well, I think she was deliberately killed. There was probably some anger, something that incited the thing. She gets killed, and I believe she was probably killed inside the house, removed. And that area of Tucson, as you're well aware, is loaded with abandoned mines, and they are very popular places to dump bodies that are difficult or impossible to retrieve.
And there's no street lights. I mean, I know I don't want to Skyline and Campbell, that area, and basically all over Tucson because of Pikes Peak, and they don't have street lights. So that would be the perfect time to commit a crime at night.
That tells me the person that committed the crime also was very familiar with the neighborhood. You could, for a stranger to come in and find that particular house, and I don't believe that.
Thanks, Paul. We're going to have to leave it there. You can read his works at crimefilenews.tv. Coming up, meet the guys who have forced out of office 700 elected officials. We'll be right back. The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
On February 24th, President Trump will deliver his State of the Union address to Congress.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
And AM 560 The Answer is throwing a viewing party, and you're invited to join us for dinner at the Meridian Banquets and Conference Center in Rolling Meadows. Enjoy dinner before the speech, and then watch the speech with AM 560's Dan Proft, Sean Thompson, Jeannie Ives, Amy Jacobson, and John Anthony. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/party. Sponsored in part by Edward Jones agent Nolan Webster.
News. I'm Gianna Gelosi. The U.S. and Iran set to hold talks Friday in Oman after an Iranian drone was shot down near the USS Abraham Lincoln and anti-regime protests spilled out in Tehran.
I think in order for talks to actually lead to something meaningful, they will have to include certain things. And that includes the range of their ballistic missiles. That includes their sponsorship of terrorist organizations across the region. That includes the nuclear program, and that includes the treatment of their own people.
That is Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Borders our Tom Homan with an announcement when it comes to the immigration crackdown in Minnesota.
As a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today.
Roughly 300 federal officers are currently deployed in the state. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with a high of 28. Tonight, expect partly to mostly cloudy skies with cold temperatures dropping to a low of 16. Tomorrow, clouds will gradually clear, making way for some sunshine with a chance of light snow, primarily in the morning hours with minimal accumulation. The high for tomorrow will reach 31 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
RedState.com captures the pulse of grassroots conservatism. Red State staff of contributors are on top of breaking news with stories and analysis that challenge the established agenda. RedState.com educates, motivates, and activates passionate conservatives across America, arming them with the facts that put them ahead of the political curve. No wonder RedState.com is a must-read for elected officials and for citizens who want to make their vote count. RedState.com is the place where influence meets action. Log on to RedState.com today.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that. 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Have you ever engaged in conversation about your faith with a family member, a friend, or a colleague, and when challenged on an intellectual level about why you believe what you believe, you've been at a loss for a reasoned answer? The Missing Think, a treatise on origin, purpose, and God by Mark A. Vogel, was written for you, particularly if you don't have a lot of time to sit down and read a lengthy book. A short read, it'll provide you with some thoughtful insight with which to challenge the skeptics in your life with effective and practical, critical thinking. It may even strengthen your own faith in God. Seen through the eyes of an inventor and product development engineer, The Missing Think draws analogies to the wonders of the world around us and connects dots to some profound practical and historical evidence for the truth of Christianity. The book is available for download by visiting Amazon.com and searching The Missing Think, Mark A. Vogel. That's Mark, the letter A, V-O-G-E-L. Again, to purchase your copy, go to Amazon.com and in the search box, type The Missing Think, Mark A. Vogel.
Wealth Health Radio. The biggest fears that people have is, do I have enough money to retire?
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated.
Make sure that you're going through retirement with confidence.
Learn principles of income planning.
There's a lot of different facets that you need to take into consideration when you're retiring.
Tune into Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, noon to 1 p.m. Sundays on AM 560, The Answer. AM 560, The Answer.
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no props.
We know what that music means. It's the Watchdogs segment.
Oh, I see what you guys are doing.
They are
there.
always watching out.
Welcome back to The Real Story. Jeannie Ives, Amy Jacobson. You can always watch us on the YouTubes because that's why we get our hair done and just put on makeup. And I'm not wearing pajamas, but some days I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can watch
Definitely
us
sweats.
Breakthrough Ideas YouTube channel, Breakthrough Ideas Facebook page, also AM 560's Facebook page. You can watch online at 560theanswer.com, or as a lot of people I know are doing, they download the podcast and they listen to us while they're driving home from work, driving to work, or
Walking
on
the dog.
exercise machine, whatever
Yep.
while you're cooking. So if you missed us during the day, go to our app. Bottom right-hand corner, click on podcast, scroll down, and then you'll see The Real Story.
Absolutely. So we've got the Edgar County Watchdogs on the line. It's Kirk Allen and John Kraft, and they've been regulars on my show when I had it Sunday night. And I've been working with them for, 13 years at least. And these guys are just remarkable. So I wanted them to first kind of explain, because this might be a new audience that isn't aware of their work and how great they've done. And so I first wanted to bring in Kirk Allen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Well, Kirk, could you just start by giving a brief summary of how you two got started and what your record is and what are the primary tools that you use to hold government officials accountable?
You bet. Well, I got started from a simple 911 call. I'm a volunteer fire chief and an EMT, and we got a call for a 11-day-old baby that was not breathing. And in the EMS industry, we risk little to save little. We risk a lot to save a lot. Well, 11-day-old baby that's not breathing, I am driving 100 miles an hour to get to the ambulance bay. And we get to the scene, and it turns out it was a 16-year-old mother in government housing with a 11-day-old baby in her arms screaming bloody murder. Well, if the child is screaming, he's breathing. So it was a sigh of relief. My concern was I put myself and anybody else in between me and that ambulance bay at risk because I risked everything to get there as fast as I could. When I asked our 911 dispatcher who took the call, the person that answered said I did. And I said, well, can you tell me why didn't we initiate over the phone infant CPR? Had they done that, they would have known the child was breathing. And it turns out what happened, the mother had absolutely zero parenting skills. Again, 16 years old, living in government housing. I didn't even know that was legal, but I guess it is. And the child was wearing a blue nightie and was under fluorescent lights, and she thought the child had a blue tint to him. So she just thought he wasn't breathing. Well, he's screaming, but she obviously couldn't figure that out. But anyway, the dispatcher says, well, we don't do that. Like, what do you mean you don't do it? It's a standard medical protocol. It's a flip chart. You do over-the-phone CPR. Well, we don't do that here. And that took me to my very first public meeting, and I know all these people on the 911 board, and I asked them a very simple question. Can you tell me if our dispatchers are EMD certified, emergency medical dispatchers? Are they certified? Are they licensed by the state? And the response was, well, why do you want to know? So I told them the story I just shared, as if why I want to know makes a difference to the answer to the question. It took 15 minutes to get them to finally acknowledge that they've been trained. I didn't ask if they were trained. I asked if they were certified. My first Freedom of Information Act request was to the Illinois Department of Public Health, who is the licensing agency. Our dispatchers in Edgar County had not been licensed for 6 years. It's an annual requirement. That led to finding out that our 911 center had never been licensed to operate with the FCC. And that is how I got started with the Edgar County Watchdogs, the use of a simple FOIA, asking questions and attending a meeting. And the rest is just, it's amazing how that one incident has just springboarded into a national movement of accountability.
Yes, so you don't just have Edgar County Watchdogs, you have American Watchdogs, which is something else you do. You have a really active website. But I think what a lot of our listeners will be surprised to find out is how, just through your work over the last 15 years, what you've been able to do in terms of holding government officials accountable. What is your record now?
Well, currently through the exposure, which is the articles we write, we've got approximately 697. There might be, another 4 or 5 that we're still trying to follow up on. So we may be over that 700 number, but approximately 700 officials that have fled office. Either they resigned, chose not to run again because they didn't like the exposure, or they've been arrested or convicted. And when people point to us, oh, you're political, you do, this is all about politics. I guess from a political standpoint, I could say we are trying to create vacancies of bad people, get them out of office, so all those that are trying to get people in, they can go do what they do. We get them out, so y'all can get them in.
Can you give us an example? Didn't you help take down Tiffany Henyard, the mayor and trustee? I mean, she was a hot mess, and I can't believe she was able to do what she did for years and get away with it.
They wrote the first story about Tiffany Henyard before the mainstream media did anything, and it wasn't but for 3 years later.
3 years?
Yes, these guys
So
wrote
wait,
the
Ben
first,
Bradley from WGN didn't break the story?
They wrote the first story in September of 2021. Go ahead, Kurt.
So tell us how that came to fruition.
Well, basically, we were contacted by locals, and John went up there to a meeting to meet with them, and it just kind of snowballed. But our first article in 21, slowly but surely, we kept pumping them out, and we filed FOIA lawsuits against them. And this is part of the model that we teach. It's called forced media. If you continue to write about the subject matter and continue to expose and don't go away until the problem's solved, sooner or later, the mainstream media cannot ignore it. And that's what happened with Dalton, Illinois. The mainstream media finally had to say, there's something here. Because those very same people that came to us, they went to the local media, and nobody would listen to them. They were ignored. They couldn't get the attention. We had the same thing with, you'll remember, Jeannie, with the College of DuPage.
Yep.
We couldn't get the Tribune to publish squat about what was really going on. And it wasn't until, a couple of years of absolute exposing of the malfeasance that the Tribune shifted gears and started actually doing a deep dive into what was going on there. It's called forced media. And through that process, the electorate gets educated, and they voted her out. She's down in Georgia now running a fashion designs studio or something down there in Georgia.
Really?
So,
but do you think she'll spend any time in jail for what she did? I mean, there's so many different
she's
levels of corruption.
No. No, not yet.
She has not been indicted, and she has not been indicted yet.
Nope. And Kirk and John also have like sort of a direct relationship with a number of federal prosecutors, so they feed them information. In fact, they have a really good relationship. The reverse way, they ask them for information. How about if we go to John Kraft? He's the other partner here in the Edgar County Watchdogs, the other co-founder. He has his own story about how he got started. But John, rather than going through that, how about just tee up some of for an example of what you're currently working on?
Well, thanks for having us, Jeannie. And I remember, if Amy remembers back in 2020, I think we exchanged some emails when the governor kicked her out of some public meetings and told her she couldn't attend anymore.
He took my press pass. Courtesy of Jordan Abudaye, by the way, who then I FOIA'd some emails, and she said, "I'm sorry I've created such a big mess for everybody." No, there you go.
So some of the things we're working on right now at this point in time are a couple of the Veterans Assistance Commissions, and one's in Tazewell County and the other's in Winnebago County. The Tazewell County Veterans Assistance Commission, their bylaws violate state laws in 6 or 7 ways, including permitting secret ballots to elect a chairman, secret ballots to hire somebody. It's illegal. And we went to a meeting 2 days ago, and it verified to me that they had been doing it that way, because when they were discussing hiring a interim superintendent, one of the board members said, "Hey, shouldn't this be a secret ballot?" And the answer surprised me. Somebody else said, "No, that's been outlawed since 1933. And that's when I knew somebody there had been reading my emails, because I sent them an email in that question specifically and included an AG opinion from 1933 by Attorney General Turner, who said no secret ballots.
Well, that's what's interesting. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The other issue working on in Winnebago County is recent. They have a new superintendent who attempted to get the caseworker to work with somebody that just walked in instead of working with the person who had an appointment scheduled. Wanted his friend to, be put ahead of the line. And she said, "No, I can't do that because I have this appointment." And then she filed, he did something and got her all upset and told her she wasn't doing the right job or whatever. And she filed a grievance against him, and he immediately terminated her employment. So now the VAC in Winnebago County has nobody that can process veterans' disability claims.
So, the interesting thing about your work, and the reason that we're going to have you on a regular basis, is because you are absolutely doing the work that so many other people ignore. Even states' attorneys ignore, prosecutors ignore, elected officials don't know their own rules of their own entity that they are in charge of, and so you continuously remind them. You're schooling municipal lawyers all the time. You find out that they don't know the law either. In fact, they tell their clients to do things that are absolutely against the law. So your focus is not just on Veterans Assistance Commissions. It's been on everything. Literally, there's not, I don't think, a government entity that you have not dug into. And the problem is that so much of this is not prosecuted. So the only way to get anything corrected is to expose what's going on and hope that the citizens pick it up and do the right thing, vote them out of office, force the other people out of office. And from that standpoint, it's really shameful. And so that's why I want to bring these stories to light, Amy, because these people are doing the work that average citizens should be doing and that states' attorneys feel like they don't have time for.
Right.
But in many cases, like the Dolson Township one that Kirk was going to talk about, these people are stealing literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in the matter of months, emptying out whole bank accounts, and folks are like, what?
But then why can't she get indicted? Or go. I mean, she committed a crime. She stole money. She told taxpayers' funds. She was put up billboards saying, "You better vote for me or else."
Tiffany Henyard.
Tiffany Henyard. I mean, it goes on and on. But
Well-
I just surprised that she's still now she's living a new life in Atlanta.
Kirk, we only got about a minute left here in this segment. What is that update? I mean, what do you expect will happen in the Tiffany Henyard case that it's been as it goes on?
Well, we've been told that it will happen. There's been some delays in the actual cases of those who have pled guilty. That I believe it was a police chief and the CFO for the village. One of those, there's been some delays. They keep pushing it back, which I assume there's still cooperation. But we're being told on the backside that they'll be indicted, just a matter of time. John believes it firmly. I'm having a tough time believing it because there were so many things that she did. I can't believe they haven't already done it unless there's a lot bigger fish that are involved in this, and that's quite possible.
Well, and what about the pastor? I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry, but he used to show up at every single homicide of a teenager and talk to the media, and he was involved in that too. Do you know what's happened to him?
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
He's still a city council member or village trustee.
Wow.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Well, to be continued. You'll be hearing their stories, and they'll bring you new, fresh stories every week and updates on the ones that they've been following. And so I want to thank John Kraft and Kirk Allen for joining us on The Real Story today.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Coming up on The Real Story, meet the Peabody County Sheriff, who some say is very self-serving.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
When someone you love is living with memory loss, finding the right care isn't just important, it's everything. At Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace, memory care isn't an add-on, it's all we do.
When Mom moved into Terra Vista, everything changed. She's safe, engaged, and surrounded by people who truly understand dementia. And I finally get to just be her daughter again.
Terra Vista was built specifically for caring for those with Alzheimer's and other types of dementia, with secure indoor and outdoor spaces, innovative therapies, and a community that feels like home. Residents stay active, connected, and respected every single day.
And the best part? Mom can live with dignity, and I have peace of mind.
If memory care is in your future, choose the community designed for it. Choose Terra Vista of Oak Brook Terrace. Schedule a tour today at terravista.org. Again, that's terravista.org, and tell them AM 560 sent you. Terra Vista, where memory care lives.
Alliance Global Risks United States Insurance Company, Agris, doing business as Alliance Commercial, seeks Senior Information Technology Enterprise Architect in Chicago, Illinois. Support business management process implementation, drive decommissioning, and establish application roadmaps to guide the information technology delivery with a special focus on North America. Telecommuting permitted. Benefits, medical and prescription drug, dental, vision, critical illness insurance, employee assistance program, identity theft restoration service, life insurance, short and long-term disability insurance, Alliance Asset Accumulation Plan, 401k, professional investment advisory services, and tuition reimbursement. $160,555 to $193,833.33 per year. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com, reference number 99472. That's jobpostingtoday.com, reference number 99472.
AM 560. The Answer.
Well, win one for us. Breaking news. Does anybody remember Ryan Roth? He has just been sentenced to life in prison for the Trump golf course assassination attempt. Remember, he was a crazy blonde, leathered skin who was hiding in the shrubs on the fifth hole, waiting for him. And this was not long after the assassination attempt on then candidate Trump in Pennsylvania, where he was shot in the head, but nobody wanted to say that for, I was counting the clock, 92 minutes I waited. And I said to my husband, because we were just randomly watching, I don't know why, I don't watch TV on the weekends normally. And I said, he just got shot. And then somebody said, oh, there was, shards of glass. What glass? There's no, from the teleprompter.
No, right, exactly.
No, it took the mainstream media so long to admit the truth because they knew that this was going to help his campaign.
Yeah, well, this Ryan Roth guy, I mean, I would like to know more about the background. Like, somebody put him up to it, in my opinion.
Oh, you think he was a hired?
I think he was
a hired hitman.
I think he was talked to. Let's put it that way. I think it was suggested somehow.
Yeah. Well,
by
prosecutors
somebody.
wrote in a sentencing memorandum that he remains totally unrepentant, and the heinous nature of this assassination attempt, his selfish, violent decision to prevent the American voters from electing the president by killing him first. That's what he wanted. And the warrants, it just warrants severe criminal punishment. So it's life in prison for him.
Well, and I think under the federal statute, that actually means life in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, you do that under a state statute in a place like Illinois, and you're out in no time.
And they were able to pick him up rather quickly. So that's good. And
Well,
I would love to
that's
know
good.
more. What I would like to know is who funded Timothy Cook, who shot President Trump and then was killed by Secret Service agents. Never know about that because he had, disposable phones. He had 19 contacts on that phone. Why don't we know who his contacts were?
I mean, look,
Literally
they
nothing.
Want all the files released about Epstein. I'd rather know about the shooting in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania.
All
we
right,
don't know anything about that.
Let's
Go ahead.
quickly before we wrap up here. Now we have some time to take calls. 312-642-5600. You can also reach us on our text line. That's for sure. We're always here for you. But I wanted you to get to know the Pima County Sheriff, Chris Nanos. He is, he held a press conference yesterday where he literally revealed nothing new except for the fact that they're reviewing all their options. When a reporter asked about a ransom letter that was sent to TMZ, and he said, we're reviewing all our options. But he was interviewed, and I'm sure he's exhausted from the interviews, not maybe from the search, but he's got to get his you-know-what together.
You know, we get people who walk away from their homes. We get missing people in the mountains hiking and in the desert trails. But I can't think of the last time where in the middle of the night in someone's bed, an 84-year-old woman disappeared on us. That's a challenge for us, and it's something we just want her back.
Be strong, man. Okay,
Right.
then he starts crying even more. Does he cry over everybody that's missing in Pima County? Or is it just because and I'm not ripping on Savannah at all. This guy's got to get it together because then he starts bawling.
What is your message to her and the Guthrie family and all the viewers who care so much about Savannah?
We're not going to give up. We'll get this. I'm blessed. I have a team that is, look, they'll solve this. I know they will.
Sheriff, we thank you for your time. I know you're busy, and I'm going to be praying that you find Nancy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then he's rubbing his eyes.
Is he just tired? Is
I
this
don't
just
know, but
exhaustion?
this
I
is-
cannot imagine
this is
any
happening.
sheriff reacting that way. Most of them are very, very professional.
Well,
They
this is
don't
happening
do
a lot.
this.
I mean, when they talked in Philadelphia, the police chief started crying there when talking. Oh, I'm sorry, that was in Portland. When two illegals who committed crimes were shot, remember, they were driving around in their
I
car
remember
and
that.
ramming their vehicle into ICE agents. And he got up there and was crying, not knowing that they were part of Trende de Aragua street gang. This is what they do now.
This is not how a Florida sheriff would act.
Oh,
Let's
no,
put it that way.
not the Polk County
No,
sheriff. We got to get
he's
him
the
on.
best.
Don't you love
I
him?
love him. Such a straight shooter.
Oh, but he's so funny. And his press conferences are almost entertaining.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, hey,
Yeah, right, exactly. If we have a missing illegal, we will send in aircraft, unmanned, drones, dogs. The entire force will be after that one illegal if they get away from us.
I know.
We're not stopping.
And then he'll show their mug shots like, this guy, you want to protect this guy? He raped a young lady. And he's a bad dude. You want this guy roaming the streets? I mean, he's just comical.
Take no prisoners.
All right, The Real Story with Jeannie Eyes and Amy Jacobson. You can
we're
watch
already
us.
done?
Yeah, we can watch
Wow,
us
it's a quick
on
hour.
YouTube, Breakthrough Ideas YouTube channel, also AM 560 Facebook page, 560theanswer.com online. And I love the podcast, I have to tell you.
Well, I'll
I've
tell
been
you what,
telling all my friends and family, and they're listening. I know people are listening. In
Tomorrow,
Arizona, too.
we're going to hear from Mary Fiorito about where does Illinois stand on the cultural line. And then also we're going to hear from Steve Cortez. His new movie is released tomorrow, his documentary about the Chinese nationals at our public universities in Illinois.
Yeah, we'll find out the real story about how many Chinese nationals are at University of Illinois, and how many spots they've taken away from Illinoisans and other Americans. Have yourselves a wonderful day. It's going to be cloudy, high of 23 degrees, AM 560, The Answer.
On Salem News Channel, principled voices are shaping today's conversation.